Hey, what is up, awesome people? 𝐓𝐇𝐀𝐍𝐿 here, and I'm going to be giving you some tips, tricks, and strategy to leveling up the Specialist class in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Since this is a Specialist guide, you might be asking yourself, why am I showing gameplay of the other classes? Well, that's to demonstrate just how quickly I was able to rip off kills and kill streaks in this game with the other three classes, because I just didn't think I would ever be able to do that with the Specialist class. Not consistently, anyways. The Specialist class, in my opinion, is the weakest of the four standard classes. They just have so many things going against them. They can't take a hit. One burst from any of the other classes' weapons and you're done. It takes 2 headshots or multiple shots to the body to take anyone out. The rifles are slow. The bolts take a slow amount of time to travel from the barrel to the target. You can't throw the shock grenade very far, and it does a minuscule amount of damage compared to the other classes' explosives. So you kind of get the picture here. They have a lot going against them, but I'm going to share with you the tricks that I used to get the 500 kills to unlock that last rifle, the NT242. And that really was just my main goal, to unlock all the guns on all the classes. So I needed to get 500 kills on all the classes, and I did that pretty easy with the other classes. It did take a little bit longer with the Specialist class, though. I decided to get the 500 kills all through the Blast game mode. I'm not a big fan of Galactic Assault, and I just didn't want to have to deal with all the moving up, falling back, the crazy amount of players, the vehicles, and the heroes. So it just seemed like Blast would be the quicker way to do it. Now, the issue with Blast is these maps are not sniper friendly, and that's how I thought I was going to do this initially. I thought I was going to find a spot, sit back, scope people in, and get my 500 kills. But there's just not a whole lot of sniping spots on these Blast maps. And when I did find a good spot, sometimes it worked out, other times it just didn't. There's a lot of things you have to contend with when sniping. The worst one is the kill cam. Most people you kill, they're just going to respawn and go on playing their game. But there is always just that guy who takes it personal, and he's going to make it his life's goal to get you back. And they're going to do anything and everything to kill you and keep you out of that spot. That can sometimes work out great if you have the same guy coming back over and over. It could lead to multiple kills, or it could just be a big waste of time and you're going to have to give up on the spot. You also have to take into consideration how good is the team you're on, because if they can't push the other team and they're getting overran, well, you're going to get overran. The biggest issue, though, I think in sniping in Battlefront 2 is it's just damn hard in this game. With the first 3 rifles, you have to get 2 headshots on a full health player, and barely anyone in this game stands still long enough to crack off 2 shots. And then it seems like you're constantly dealing with your own teammates blocking your shots, which is aggravating as hell. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to get kills in the Blast mode. The first way is to run and gun, and for this build I'm using Hardened Infiltration, Stealth, and the improved shock grenade. And for all my gameplay I am using the 𝐖𝐀𝐍𝐿 rifle. And I'm going to play this like I would the Assault class. I'm just going to run around and try to get eliminations in the good old-fashioned one-on-one gun battles. I'm not going to be using the scope very much. I'm just going to use the crosshairs. I'll use Hardened Infiltration to locate enemies and then attempt to get behind them and shoot them in the back. When Infiltration is on cooldown, I'll just go back to using the rifle. This is a feasible way to play and get kills with the Specialist class, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's tough. You are outgunned by every other class, but if you run the map long enough, you're bound to get behind someone and you can shoot them in the back. If you come up against 2 players, well, your rifle's just not fast enough and there's a pretty good chance you're going to die. If you come up against a competent Assault or Heavy class, well, you're toast. Especially against a Heavy, because there's just no way you can burn through that shield. It is a real challenge to play this way, but it is possible. Now, the easiest way to get kills is by melee. And for this build, I'm going to equip Hardened Infiltration, Stealth, and the Personal Shield. The tactic here is you're going to activate Hardened Infiltration first, so you can see where the other players are on the map. You also get increased melee damage with Hardened Infiltration. Then you're going to activate your Personal Shield, and then you're just going to run around the map and look for those red dots, and then you're going to try to knock them out. And that's it for the strategy. And I feel pretty bad about doing this because it's a pretty cheap move, but it works extremely well. If you run up on someone behind, they don't stand a chance. And you'll find out many times, even when you come up on 1 or even 2 guys and you rush them and start hitting them, a lot of times they'll just shoot the shield or they'll just lock up and do nothing. One time I even ran into a room of 5 players and I killed 4 of them. No lot. Of course, I wasn't recording, but it happened. It's pretty crazy how well this works. There are some matches when I was able to get as many as 20 kills by doing this, and that's without spending any battle points. It causes complete chaos, and I'm sure every player on the other team was cussing me up and down. It is pretty overpowered. There is a counter to it, and that's to roll away, although in my experience, most people don't do that. And the last way to play is as a traditional sniper, and I'm going to show you my super secret sniper spots. I guess they won't be super secret sniper spots anymore after this. Now, do be aware your success rate with these spots will vary. I had some absolutely spectacular matches using these spots, and then some matches they just didn't go great. The first map is Starkiller Base, and there's just not really any good sniping spots on this map. The spot I'm going to show you is pretty well known, but just in case you didn't know, I'll show you what I do. So on the end of the map is a control room, and I head to that room through the bottom tunnel, and in the intersection of that tunnel, I throw down my tripwire mine right on the floor. I don't even try to place it in any certain way, because what tends to happen is guys are going to fly through that hallway, and they'll just run right over it. Then I head up the stairs, and then I just watch through this doorway. I'll stay up close to the door to keep the door open. If I start to take fire, then I'll just back up to close the door. You do have to watch the hallway to the right, and you'll want to listen if your tripwire goes off or someone shoots it. And if that happens, immediately hit hardened infiltration to see if anyone is down in that hallway. The second map, I think this is Starkiller again. I'm not sure what the name is, but it's the outside map. And there are two spots I used on this map. The first one is back in this grassy area behind the bunker, and from here you have a good view of the platform on the left, and the guys coming from the right, they will normally just run right by this area. They're following that circular map pathing, and you're right outside of that pathing. If you do start to take fire, you can fall back behind the bunker, which is out of bounds, but you get 10 seconds to recover. The next spot's a better spot. It's on the opposite corner, and it's also outside of that circular pathing. You're going to run behind the shuttle, and to the left of the shuttle is a platform. And up here, this is a really great spot. I got a lot of kills from up here. You have a clear view all the way to the back of the map on the right. You do have a limited view of the platform on the left, but most of the players, what they're going to do is they're following that circular pathing, and they're going to run right out in front of the platform. So you're going to get some really clear, unobstructed shots. So if you do feel like you've got pressure coming from the right, you're going to use hardened infiltration to get a bead on their location. If they're coming back here to get you, then you can jump off the platform and then try to circle around behind them. On the Cachero Beach map, the map with all the huts up in the trees, I use two spots. The first one, you follow these platforms around, and there's this platform here that doesn't have anything on it. You just run across that platform. Always place a tripwire on the path somewhere leading onto the next platform. Then on the next platform, I go to the side, and then I jump the rail, and then crouch down here on the side of this platform. I just move up enough so these metal things on the right side are covering me up on my right side. From here, you're going to take shots at people coming down the path to that doorway, and you're going to cover the hut on the platform on the right. And I'm not quite sure what it is about this particular spot, but this is one of those that every time I've used it, it seems like the players will really go out of their way to come after me after I've killed them. Mostly other people playing Specialist. I don't know if they just want the spot or what. I've got into some pretty serious sniper battles from right here. The next spot is closer to the big building in the middle. If you run the pathway, you're eventually going to see this big tree branch, and you can jump up onto that branch, and with a little bit of effort, you can make it even further up, and then drop down onto the roof of the hut beneath the branch. This is a pretty decent spot, as you can fire down on players at the doorway. Most of the time, they don't know where those shots are coming from. If you do start taking fire, you can fall behind the branch and the roof for cover. The next spot is on Tatooine Mos Eisley map, and there's a building in the corner near the main cantina building. If you're standing on the backside of the cantina, it's on the left. On the stairs, before I go up, I'm going to drop a tripwire, just like I did on Starkiller. I just drop this down on the stairs. I don't put it on the wall, and this works really well. I've gotten so many kills placing these mines like this. I go up to the roof, and there's this ventilation exhaust fan thing here, and I'm going to run and jump on the exhaust fan and then on top of the roof above. This is a little tricky, and it may take a couple tries, but once you're up there, this is a location that most people just don't look at or run to. And from here, you have a small window of coverage on the cantina roof, and the building directly to the left is the roof that everyone gets on. And as long as you stay crouched down beside the dome, you can get some easy kills from this spot. Okay, moving on to Maz's castle. And on that map, there's a tree in the back corner. If you're looking at the entrance to the castle, this is on the left-hand side. There's a lot of cover around this tree. You can take shots at people spawning in on the left. You have a clear view of the ridge in front of you. And if you move a little to the right, you can shoot people up on the roof of the castle. I've got a lot of kills from behind this tree. Next up is the Hoth map, and this map there are some paths running the back side of the map, and if you follow those, that's going to lead into a tunnel that goes up to a room looking down on the hangar. This room I think is actually one of the rooms that the objective is in the strike mode. Not a great spot, your view is very limited, but it's one of those spots that people don't know about. And it's another one of those where if you shoot someone from up here, they're going to go through hell or high water to get you. And that can work out great, especially if you're using infiltration and tripwires.
Protecting the base. Move in. Eliminate all fighters.
Moving on to Yavin 4, the temple on the left side of the map. If you start from the outside, you can jump up on the side of the temple, and from here you can cover the door in the right corner of the hangar. Another spot that's not spectacular, but it's a spot that most people are not going to expect you to be shooting from up here, and you can peel off some kills just because they're not going to know exactly where you're firing at them from. And another little trick to this map, you see a lot of battles for that upstairs room in the middle of the map. What a lot of people don't know is in the back of the room with the radar panels is a hallway. If you run through that hallway, you're going to be outside the map, but if you keep running, head to the right and then go up the stairs and you'll enter into the backside of that upstairs room. And I can't tell you how many times I've done this, and I've just demolished everyone shooting down those stairs. And the last spot is on Jakku, and what I do is I just camp out right here behind these crates, and I cover the entranceway up ahead. From this spot right here, I probably got more kills than any other spot on any other map. And I think that's because this is a spawn-in area, and as long as your team stays on this side of the map, you're pretty well covered up and protected. So, I eventually did unlock the NT242, and was it worth all the hassle? Yeah. The gun is slow, 2 shots and it does overheat, but it only takes 1 shot to the head or 2 to the body to take a player down. So it's definitely worth all the trouble. But I think in the end, the real reward for me was after going through all this, I really understood how to play the Specialist class, and by combining the 3 different ways to play, the run and gun, the melee, and sniping, and learning when and how to use infiltration effectively, I was able to have some really fun and amazing games. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this guide useful. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, and until next time, I will talk to you later. Have a good one.